Hey everybody, Matt, IronTrap Garage, doing a Tools That Don't Suck series. And this is a brand new tool we just got working in my shop. And this is something that actually, when we bought the brake that's right over here at a like a business auction, clearance, whatever, I bought this guy for I think $40. So it's an old, I'm going to guess teens or 20s Crescent Machine Co. 18-inch disc sander. This thing is awesome. It's big cast iron base. It was actually belt driven, so this would have went an old factory that would have had the leather belts that run all over the shop. And this came out of, I'm in town right near us, or city, Reading, Pennsylvania. The guy I got it from is still alive. He was just retiring. And he told me he pulled this out of a factory he worked in Reading when he was younger and it closed. And this guy was probably in his 70s or 80s. And he had it in his business forever. It was converted to electric at some point where a bracket was made and a motor was put on. When it came to me, it was actually three-phase. I don't have three-phase in my shop, so Mike was at Harbor Freight one time and picked me up a 220 3-horse motor so that we could adapt it to this to run it on 220. Now, one of the problems we ran into is the RPMs on this motor is much higher than what was on the original three-phase motor, so we needed to drop those down. So what we did is we ordered, Mike actually was the one that did it, I was just fumbling around, guessing, shooting from the hip like I normally do, and I got a pulley. Mike figured out the calculations of what we needed for the a smaller pulley on the motor to get it to close to the same RPM as it was running before. What it was at before would have been running really, really fast and was totally unnecessary. So now we have it to a acceptable RPM. And the other good thing about this purchase was it came with like 3 boxes of brand new sandpaper discs, which were all in great shape. So I pretty much have a lifetime supply of these. The disc that was on it probably was used for years and still worked just fine, but I threw a new one on here. And it's pretty much ready to go. Old cast iron base. The only thing it's really missing is the little square here, but I could probably find something to adapt to it, and it should work pretty well. The side on here has a adjustment so that you can change the angle of the table, so if you want to put bevels on it, it will work just fine. There's no guard that came on it. The guy I got it from just said, be careful. And so we might make a guard on it, I don't know yet. But there's a guard on the that somebody had made over the belt, and that actually works just fine. So I already have a home for it. Over here next to my torches, in between the bench, we have a really nice spot for it, so we can put it in there, and we can have our 220 plug and just switch it on and go. Mike utilized the original switch box that was in it, rewired it for me, and ran a plug so that it runs right off the same outlet as my welder does, and it works awesome. I've only gotten to play with it just a little bit with some piece of tubing here, but it is going to make our lives much easier being able to do this stuff without having to use the flat disc for everything, which is horrible. So that's it. This is my vintage Crescent Machine Co. 18-inch disc sander that is awesome, and it will also erase your fingerprints, which is pretty cool. So that's all I got, guys, for Tools That Don't Suck. Thanks for checking it out. Catch you later.